Welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about the sprint review and how the sprint review is not, as some people will call it, a demo or not a showcase. You will likely have a demo or run a demo inside of your sprint review, but the purpose is not simply to do a demo. Let's unpack this and talk about what you want to be doing in a sprint review and the things you want to be avoiding. Now, first off, people often say the purpose of the sprint review is to get feedback. Getting feedback from people, your stakeholders, bringing them in and getting them to tell you what they think. Now, this is close to it, but it's not exactly what you're looking for. What you're actually looking for is a working meeting. You're inviting people to a sprint review to collaborate on where the product is at. Let's look at it, understand what's in the product backlog, where we're going next, and then talk about having a conversation about what's happening outside of the team, in your market, with your competition, with your customers, with other products, to understand where does this product need to go next. It's not simply a yes, we like it, an applause session, or a thumbs up, thumbs down on what your stakeholders are looking at. The people who are being invited, you're expecting them to come to work. So be wary of that term feedback. Feedback is part of that conversation, but importantly, it's a working meeting with your stakeholders. Now next, the sprint review is also not an accounting session on work complete. This is something I'll see sometimes teams do, or where they'll go through and do a line-by-line accounting for product backlog items that were completed that sprint and those that were not. Now this is, again, not the purpose of the sprint review. The sprint review, the reason you're there is to inspect where you're at with this product increment and look ahead and see where you need to be going next and adapt that direction as needed. It's not an accounting on tasks. And on top of that, you don't need to show every product backlog item that was completed that sprint. Remember, you're looking to get to inspect the product, to look at it, to do a demonstration of those things that are meaningful to where you've advanced the product this sprint, so that everyone has the same knowledge and understanding of what the product capabilities are now. This does not mean you have to show every product backlog item, because that may or may not be relevant to that conversation. And all of this boils down to the sprint review is also not a status meeting. So this is not a status up and out so that stakeholders and people understand sort of where you're at with your scope of work. There is a measure of understanding where you're at and forecasting ahead to where you think you're going to be, but the purpose, again, is a working meeting to understand where is this product at today and where does it need to go next. So here's what I want you to do for running your sprint review. So product owners, you're looking at the invite list, and I want you to be looking carefully at the people you want to invite to the sprint review. And remember, it's a working meeting, so you're not going to have 50 people in this room. Right? You probably want, in my opinion, 8 or less are about the right number that I want if I'm trying to collaborate with people and actually have a working session where everyone can contribute. With that, the agenda. Here's where you're going to step through. The typical agenda I'll suggest product owners start with and teams have, Scrum teams work with, is first you do a history of the sprint. Hey, what happened? We planned some work, some things happened, maybe we got more done than we thought, maybe less. Either way, it's a little history of what happened that sprint. After that, there is a demonstration. And you bet, you're going to demonstrate the increment and the meaningful things that you've done to advance this product since the last sprint. After that, you're looking at the product backlog, looking at what's happening or likely to happen in the next sprint. You may be forecasting out to see, what are the, what is the release? Maybe you have a release date plan, that sort of thing. So forecasting out. And then reviewing also what's at the top of that product backlog with all of your stakeholders that you've invited to the room. After that, then you have a conversation about what's happening outside, things that your stakeholders are bring to the table. Maybe one of your stakeholders went to a trade show last week and they saw a competitor's booth that had a large group of people around it with a feature that you don't have in your product. So these are things that may be happening outside that you want to take into account, right, as you're inspecting not only the product, but what's happening around you. Now, the final part of the sprint review is as a group, right? All these people you've brought together to work together on this, you're going to look and say, well, do we need to make changes to this product backlog? Is the order sensible? Do we need to add new items? Should we be removing items out of it? So, with that, I wish you the greatest success. Scrum on.
Do 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 do.